Welcome! This video will introduce you to basic flight controls and hopefully spare you from that awkward moment when you tip a galaxy full of 12 people upside down into another galaxy full of 12 people. I would suggest practicing with a one-man vehicle first. As much of the footage in this video is in the third person, you should note that by default pressing T will toggle in and out of this view. We'll be using WSAD for standard speed and yaw controls, and the mouse for roll and pitch. Space and control by default moves your aircraft vertically up and down. First up, taking off. Every aircraft in Planetside 2 is similar to a helicopter in that it has vertical thrust. By pressing spacebar you can project your craft vertically upwards from a landed position. This thrust is also available while you are in the air, which as you will see later is very useful. All aircraft spawn in the air and move forward slowly by default. Once you have your craft in the air, moving around without crashing is the next step. To increase or decrease your speed, press W and S. This allows you to set your speed so that you can match it with other aircraft and other land vehicles. To start with, get used to the basic rudder controls. A and D by default will cause your craft to rotate left and right without tipping it on its side. Very good for lining up shots, for getting a feel for your craft, and to keep safe before you get adventurous. Pushing left and right on your mouse button by default will roll your craft. An alternative would be to set up your keyboard arrow keys left and right for rolling, as you can do cleaner rolls faster with this setup. For fine aiming, however, a mouse with the sensitivity turned all the way up is still your best bet, or for one of those lucky few you might want to use a joystick. To pitch your craft you can again use the mouse, pushing forward to pitch your nose up and backwards to pitch your nose down. Standard flight controls in real life use pull-back motion to pitch the nose up, but all of this can be set to suit your needs in the keyboard configuration menu. To do sharp turns you combine rolling and pitching all in one. First you roll your craft 90 degrees on its side, the one which you turn into, and then push forward to pitch your nose in that direction. The slower you are moving when you do this, the tighter your turn, but the faster you are moving, the wider your turn. If you are moving too slowly, however, your craft won't be moving enough to get a good turn and you'll lose altitude, so be careful. This usually results in your pilots hitting the ground and exploding while trying to achieve a very tight turn. A good trick here is, if you feel you're falling towards the ground, level up and press the spacebar to get some vertical thrust without having to wait for your speed to increase. Landing is very easy. Fly your craft to a landing area. Just before you reach it, pull back on S until you come to a complete stop, and use the spacebar to keep yourself from dropping too quickly, tapping Control to drop faster if need be. Some aircraft don't touch the ground unless you press Control to bring them down, but do so by tapping it to avoid damage. Pointing your nose up a little bit before touching the ground also helps you achieve a smooth landing and stops you from moving forward until you come to a complete stop. It's a good idea to fly around a friendly base until you've mastered the basic controls, and avoid being shot down. This wastes resources, and you have to wait for a cooldown timer before you can practice flying again. Once you have full control of your craft, you'll want to start shooting things. Hitting ground targets is the easiest, as they are on a flat two-dimensional plane, and usually move quite slowly. If the target is slow moving, infantry and tanks for example, you can throttle right down, hover, and use your mouse to aim and shoot. Tapping the spacebar will keep your craft in the air, as it loses vertical thrust. In fact, using spacing control is a nice way to vertically line up your shots while using the mouse to do the rest. Sometimes tapping A and D will also give you a little extra help and a little extra nudge in the right direction. With moving targets you'll have to lead your shot, aim ahead of them. Generally, the further they are away, and the faster the speed, the greater lead you'll need on your shot. You may find yourself shooting very far in front of your target to get a good shot off, in which case closing the gap a little might be a better option. Try to match the pace of your target while you pursue and fire in bursts, keeping a constant rate of fire if you're making contact. If you're being chased down by an enemy, don't fly in a straight line, move and spin erratically. Sharp turns are good, twisting back in a turn also helps. Generally try to fly towards an area that will have friendly forces that can help you out. If you are deep in enemy territory, engaging your pursuer might be the best bet of making it out alive. If you do take that option, go to third person, pull some sharp turns until you get a view on your enemy, and then try and get behind them. If you've mastered your basic flight controls, often flying through hard to access areas results in your pursuer crashing into the landscape, provided they haven't mastered their controls. When engaging an enemy aircraft, it's usually a good idea not to fire right away, as this will cause them to flee and might even result in the more experienced pilots killing you instead. Try to line up your shot comfortably first, directly behind your target if you can, and ensure that the first barrage of bullets connect. This way you maximize the initial damage to your target and increase the chance that some of the shots you land while dogfighting finish him off. When you start shooting at a more inexperienced pilot, the first thing they usually do is speed up. This doesn't affect your aim and results in you getting an easy kill. For bigger craft like the Liberator and the Galaxy, the flight controls are exactly the same. The only difference is response time, so give yourself more time to do turns, and try not to turn on your side unless you're very comfortable in doing so. Both of those craft are capable of complete rolls, however, so when you are comfortable with that, feel free to do so. Remember, these craft are designed for teams, so when you get a group of people together they can be very useful and pack quite a punch. And that's it. For more advanced tutorials on the site, follow the link below and watch this space for more tutorials from me too. Good luck.